Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about the possibility of the Washington football team trading for Derek Carr. I'll also talk about if the Washington football team should even trade for him. I'll talk about what it would take for the Washington football team to get him, and if the Raiders will even want to trade Derek Carr. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, hit that like button, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. It really helps out the channel a ton. Also, go ahead and follow the Twitter. Link is in the description and is on the screen right now. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on there. Now, let's get right into the video. We all know that the Washington football team badly needs a franchise quarterback, and they need to get one this offseason, and we know that they're going to try. And Derek Carr is one of the potential options that they could go for. Obviously, it would have to be via trade because he is not a free agent this year. We'll talk about his contract details a little bit later, but it would be definitely costly to get him. But the bigger thing is, are the Raiders even going to trade him? I mean, they're coming off a 10-win season, even with everything that went on with that organization that year, with, John Gruden resigning, the Henry Ruggs situation, the Damon Arnett situation, a couple other players as well. They're still able to, get through that and get to the playoffs and, especially win that game against the Chargers. That was a big win for them. So there's a possibility, and definitely, in my opinion, more than a 50% chance that the Raiders keep Derek Carr. In my opinion, the only way that, the Raiders move on from Derek Carr is if they move on from Mike Mayock and Rich Bisaccio, or I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing the name, but if they move on from their interim head coach or their GM, and there's a new head coach or GM coming in, and they want to, shake things up, then it's a possibility that they, move on from Derek Carr. But I mean, I don't know if I don't see a reason why they should at this moment, unless they think they can't get a contract done with him. But he wants to stay there, and, he's been playing pretty well for them. You look at his stats with the Raiders. This year, I believe it's 23 or 21 or 23 touchdowns. It switched up on me. 23 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. So not as efficient as the year before, where he threw 27 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's pretty inconsistent. I haven't watched all of his games, obviously, but if you look at the game logs, he's pretty inconsistent. He'll go, a few weeks having some really good games, and he'll go 2 or 3 weeks having some not so great games. But, the thing is, statistically, he might not be as good as Kirk Cousins, but he is a very clutch quarterback. We're going to get into a stat right in a little bit. But Derek Carr is definitely a top half of the league quarterback. I would say he's in that 9 to 13, 15 range. He's definitely an above average quarterback. Quarterback you can win with. You can definitely win with a quarterback like Derek Carr. I mean, they haven't had great rosters in the past. Once with Jack Del Rio, they did make the playoffs, but Derek Carr was hurt for that game. He couldn't play, and I believe it was E.J. Manuel or someone came in at some point. They lost that game, but, Derek Carr is good enough, in my opinion, to win a Super Bowl with a solid, good roster around him. He's really never had a good defense since, that year where they made the playoffs. But again, he wasn't able to play in that playoff game. And besides that, his defenses have been pretty bad. Let's go through the stats again, though. 68% completion percentage, so up about a percentage point from the year before. 4,800 yards, and we went over the touchdown to interception ratio. And the big thing with him, he's able to stay relatively healthy. Has missed 2 games in his NFL career. So I mean, that's almost as healthy as you're gonna get. So that's one thing you're gonna get with him. Health. Not going to get it with a lot of other quarterbacks, so that's a plus for him. And it was rumored, and this is last year, but Albert Breer did say Washington was interested in quarterback Derek Carr. So, they got the same front office as they did last year in February. So I assume they're still very interested. Again, the big question is, will the Raiders move on from him? And I just don't think they will. But if they do, I would definitely be interested in Derek Carr, because I mean, this is one of the most important stats for me. 30 game-winning drives for Derek Carr in his career. I think that leads all quarterbacks since that time. Let me know in the comments if I am wrong, and also let me know down below if you even want to trade for Derek Carr. But that is a very, very important stat. He is clutch. He doesn't break down in those big-time moments like some other quarterbacks that have been here have before, like Kirk Cousins, who statistically has had a better season than Derek Carr this year. But you look at those primetime games, those clutch moments, Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback, no doubt a top 10 quarterback in the clutch. And, you know, that is what you want. That is what you want if you're any team, and especially the Washington football team, that doesn't really have a great quarterback situation. So he's definitely a guy that I would go after. In terms of the price, what it would take for Derek Carr, it's obviously at the very minimum going to take one first-round pick. At the very minimum, a first-round pick, and I would say a third. That's the minimum that it's going to take for the Raiders to move on from Derek Carr. And I'm willing to give that up. I'm willing to give up maybe a first and Daron Payne and like a mid-round pick. But after that, that's where it gets dicey. You know, there's some rumors out there that it would take 2 firsts and like a third. That's what PFF proposed. I would not do that. I don't think he's worth that much because he is a good quarterback, but he's not an elite quarterback. And let's go to his contract situation. He has a very good salary number for this year. It's $19 million for a quarterback, even an average quarterback, which he isn't above average, but even for an average quarterback, $22 million is pretty good, and he's making under $20 million. So, but the thing is, you're going to have to pay Derek Carr. So next year, or, you know, let's say we do trade for him, we'll probably automatically or immediately, you know, extend him, because we're not going to do the deal if we can't, you know, extend him. And it's going to be very, very expensive to get him. I mean, I'm thinking, I heard somewhere in the neighborhood of $40+ million. I mean, that is a lot of money. And do you want to pay Derek Carr that much money when you have free agents coming up? Terry McLaurin, Daron Payne, Montez Sweat in a couple years. And you still have to build your team up. And obviously, a good quarterback is going to help, you know, accelerate that process a little bit, but I don't know if I'm willing to give up much more than a first and a third rounder. I know a lot of people would give up more than that because of how good a quarterback Derek Carr is. Again, though, it's just that you're going to have to extend him, and I don't know if, you know, it is worth it to give up a bunch of draft capital and maybe even some players, get a guy, and you have to extend him, and he's not an elite quarterback. If it's someone like Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, obviously Deshaun Watson, if he's cleared, for sure, I would give up a ton and go ahead and extend him, because those guys are elite quarterbacks when they are on the field, and Derek Carr isn't. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I'm in the middle. Some people really, really love Derek Carr, would give up like 2 first-round picks for him, and maybe even more. And some people are like, no, I would not trade for him at all because I don't want to give anything up for him. I'm a little bit in the middle. I'll give up some draft capital. I mean, you go back in time. There was people that were like, no, I'm not giving up even a third or second round pick for Matthew Stafford. We offered, you know, first and a third. A lot of people were saying, you know, that's crazy. You shouldn't offer that up. If you go back in time, and I know hindsight's 2020, but would you trade Jamin Davis and De'Ami Brown for Matthew Stafford? I would definitely do that. I would even throw in another, second or first round pick to do that. I mean, you just look and again, your first round picks usually going to be better than Jamin Davis, and same thing with your third round picks. And those guys obviously still have time to improve. But that's just what I'm saying. With these guys, at least you know it's, you know, guaranteed that this guy is going to be at the very minimum a good starting quarterback, and that's what you're going to get with Derek Carr. Not an elite play until it is clutch time, and that's when you need the elite play. So I'm in the middle. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I did post 2 videos yesterday. One talking about the Giants are expecting to bring back Joe Judge, so I gave my reaction to that. And then my other video, another different video, is I did some Jarrett Patterson highlights for the season. It was a quick video. I couldn't put in all the clips that I wanted to because of copyright issues, but I would appreciate if you guys could go check those videos out. Pretty short, 8 minutes on the first one, 3 minutes on the second one. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any video suggestions down below, and peace.